Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become. Hello and welcome to Monday Morning with Megan. This is episode 262 on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. After we just finished our month-long decluttering series, I noticed something really interesting, and it was this intense impulse to fill up all the space that was just created. We decluttered all of this, all the physical things, the digital things, the mental things, our schedule, and things in our identity, right? Parts of us that we have outgrown, habits that we no longer want to engage in. And the next impulse is to fill it all up again. We are uncomfortable with all of this space when we have been living with the clutter for so long. So the clutter, the things, the ways of being, those are all familiar. We have lived with them before. We know it's safe. We have been the kind of person that just lived that way. And now that it's all clear, there's this kind of a moment inside of ourselves where we're like, okay, well, I don't have all of this around anymore. I don't have all of this noise around anymore. Who am I? What do we do now? What goes here now? What should I put in this place now? So I was experiencing this impulse. And even with the podcast, I was like, what are we going to talk about now? What are we going to fill it with now? And as I sat with that, I noticed something really powerful. Because when we are on a journey of becoming, we do have to let go of things. We do have to sacrifice some things. We have to stop some ways of being. And then we have to be in a different way. We have to start new habits. We have to show up differently. We have to engage with the world differently. But there is a space between who we have been and who we want to become. Because we're not going to become that next version of ourselves overnight, especially when you're doing it intentionally. I mean, it doesn't happen when you're doing it reactionary either, but you don't notice it as much because you're not intentionally letting go and you're not sitting with this space. Things just kind of slide in one for one, but it doesn't happen when you're being intentional. When you are intentionally choosing what goes where, what fills what space, how you want to show up. It doesn't happen in a nice one-to-one trade-off. There is a space in between who you have been and who you want to become. And that space is uncomfortable. However, you have to hold that space in order to actually fully step into being that next version of you. If you don't hold the space, what is going to happen instead is you are going to slide back into who you have been because it's familiar, it's comfortable, and it's got the illusion of safety. However, if you choose to hold the space, stay focused on who it is you want to become, and act with intention, you will eventually become that next version of you, simply by your refusal to go back to who you have been. So this week is all about staying in this space, allowing it to be an in-between, allowing it to be this transition from who you have been to who you want to become, and letting yourself be uncomfortable with it, because it will be uncomfortable, because that's part of it. That's just part of it. Today, I have a great quote for you by an American author. His name is William Bridges, and I love that his last name just happened to be Bridges as we are talking about going from who you have been to who you want to become and the space in between, because Bridges. All right. Here's what he said. It isn't the changes that do you in, it's the transitions, the space between the old reality and the new one. So it's not the changes. He said it's not the changes. It's not the things that you're changing. That's not what throws you off course. What throws you off course is the transition. So the challenge here is staying in this space, holding this space, allowing yourself to live in this gap and live in the discomfort long enough for your new reality to show up and be your new normal. That's what we're talking about this week. Of course, I will be in your email tomorrow with a personal story, and then we will chat about it again on Wednesday, how I'm experiencing it and how I'm working through it and dealing with it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I totally love you. Until next time, bye for now.